The team that just keeps on giving. Welcome aboard, Big Sills, in what I like to call my zone. This is my time, okay? This is where we dive in. Like a year ago, when all you, as I would say, students, kept listening to the topics and kept saying, nah, don't worry, Big Cells. We're going to be okay. We're going to ride right into a repeat. I kept telling you, hang in there, kids. Little kiddies, pull up a chair next to Big Sills here. And we're going to tell you how things are going to go. And now, this offseason might be one of the biggest off seasons in the Nick Sirianni era. And I'm going to get into it here in a minute. This team just keeps on giving. I mean, there's more topics. By the way, we're going to do our year-end look at the football team. We'll do that probably in hour number 2. But all you have to do is tune on the radio stations in Philly or read the newspapers. My friends, the team that keeps on giving, the Philadelphia Eagles, I'll say it's one of the best teams I've ever covered. And I keep saying that, and I mean that with all due respect to some of the teams that I covered, like the Bucks. Okay? I mean, the Bucks are somewhat interesting, but not really. Okay? They're kind of interesting, but not really. Especially with the decisions that they're going to have to make, like with Mike Evans and what have you. Okay? All right. Hit the like button. Jason Cole will be with us at 3:30. Big Z will be with us at 4:30. All right. Hey, I got to tell you guys, how many guys believe that this is going to be a complete rebuild on offense for the Eagles? This is a complete rebuild. Coaching staff and personnel-wise. You're going to take a step back this year. I'm sorry. I don't see how you don't see it any other way. This is a step back here. You have changed your entire coaching staff, and you have changed the entire offensive coaching staff out. The entire coaching staff. And the personnel that you have right now to match that coaching staff and that coaching staff's philosophy, they don't match. The quarterback doesn't match. The running back doesn't match. The offensive line doesn't match. And the wide receivers but one matches, and that's Devontae Smith. Where in the world is this a spread offense and personnel alone? This is a complete rebuild. Sills, Lomu and Proctor at 23 don't make sense. They're 27 and 29, trade back, get the same player at the end of round 1. Absolutely. Now you're doing it, Kyle. Look at the grades. Don't look at the name of the players in the draft. If you could get a same guy at a grade of 86 at 23 and you trade back and you could get another 86 guy at 30, trade. Of course. It's not about the name on the back of the jersey in the draft. Okay? It's about getting the same type of player. So, folks, this is a complete rebuild on offense. Howie Roseman is going to change the personnel over. They're getting rid of A.J. Brown and they're getting rid of Lane. They're out. Those two dudes are out. Lane Johnson doesn't fit this style. A.J. Brown doesn't fit this style. You know why? He's not a versatile wideout. Spread receivers move around. A.J. doesn't. He doesn't fit what they're going to do. Now, are they going to run a version of it? So let me get this right, okay? And see this guy here, fake. He doesn't know. How would he know? Personnel. So get this, folks. See this? This is not fake news. You fired the entire offensive coaching staff. Did you not? You're changing the way you are going to win games. Are you not? The personnel you have are not that versatile. This is a completely change of pace in what they're going to do. Guys, only knee draggers and people who don't want to hear what we're going to say today won't buy into it. I guarantee you, Lane Johnson retires and A.J. Brown is moved. It's a certainty. You don't have the roster to run what you want to run. And if you think you're going to run a variation of it, why didn't you hire more experienced coaches? Every single one of these coaches you hired are nobodies. So let me get this right. You're going to take guys who have no experience at being coaches, really, and an offensive line coach who failed in Minnesota. He failed. I mean, it's a downgrade. It's a massive downgrade, the offensive line coach. But the only reason he's here is because it's a philosophy change. You hired the most inexperienced offensive staff since Nick's been in the building. Am I wrong? And when you have a spread offense, you move receivers around like Puka Nacua. Y, Z, slot. You move those guys around. AJ's never moved around. Like ever. Like ever has he moved around. Ever. Get this. Fake news. Has AJ ever fucking moved around on the offense? Yes or no? Never. Never. I'm wrong? Well, then why did you fire your entire coaching staff on offense? What do you mean we're wrong? And what you're going to do is change something that was successful with inexperienced coaches. I want you to make sense of this. RC3, make sense of this. So you're going to change philosophy that was 50-18 in the last 3 years with people who are the most inexperienced people, and you hired one of the most inexperienced coaches for offensive coordinator. Explain that. Can you? I'll wait. I want someone to explain this. You're going to change completely every single thing you did to almost run a style of offense like you see in Cincinnati with receivers that don't even resemble the Cincinnati Bengals or the Sean McVay wide receivers. They have no similarities. So, Sills, does that completely shut our window, Super Bowl window, because of these moves on offense? They're blowing it up on They're blowing it up on offense. Okay? Prince, listen, people are going to be getting upset today. They can't get rid of the guy in charge, Sills. Prince, they completely revamped the offense and the coaching staff. Did they not? Yes or no? Here, listen. I'll ask all of you, and then we'll go down this systematically. Have they changed every single coach on offense out? Yes or no? Yes or no? Did they change every coach out? Yes, Bob. Okay. Okay. Flexing. Yes. Okay. So there, we got one. So when you change the coaching staff and you change, what was the reason that they changed the offensive line coach? Anybody? We're going to go down this list, and I'm going to prove the point to you that this is a complete direction change and how he is going to change the entire offense around. Okay? They changed the offensive line coach, correct? Why did they change and fire, basically, Jeff Stoutland? Why? Why did they change one of the most successful run coaches, offensive line coaches of all time? Why did they do that? Okay? New rushing style? No. It's a new offense. Saquon Barkley doesn't fit. Okay. Let's just take it from what he just said. Does Saquon Barkley fit as a pass protector and a pass catcher and a rusher in this new offense? Yes or no? He's brutal in pass protection, and he can't catch passes. So Barkley doesn't fit. Okay? Does Barkley fit the new rushing style? Yes or no? Does he fit? He can't pass protect to save his life. This is a brand new scheme. Okay? So, Taylor, in a brand new scheme, do you think you can change the scheme without changing the people that know how to run that scheme? Do you know? Taylor, can you change a scheme and plug and play the same people in a different style of play? That's like saying Joe Burrow could run an RPO offense. You wouldn't have Joe Burrow run an RPO offense, would you? Would you have him run an RPO offense? When we signed Barkley in 24, the Eagles were glazing on how good his pass protection is. Go back and watch the interviews. He stinks. Okay, good. So we now realize this. The new running back, thanks to M. Reyes, Barkley doesn't fit. It's a new running style. Catching, blocking, and running. Which Barkley's not that guy. So Saquon Barkley doesn't fit the new offense. You got a $20 million running back who doesn't fit what you're going to do. He doesn't fit. This guy doesn't fit. Right? You need somebody like a Bucky Irvin. You need somebody like, okay? Get this. Saquon fits the new style just like running backs before him. Bro, this guy's a liar. He's pathetic in pass protection. He sucks at catching the football. How is he a fit for what? And if you're going to have screen passes, he doesn't catch the football. How many people think that Saquon Barkley is a West Coast running back or a spread offense running back? Anybody? That's right. Alvin Kamara is a guy that fits this offense, not Saquon Barkley. Derrick Henry doesn't fit this offense. A guy like Derrick Henry doesn't fit. Henry, Adrian Peterson, all those guys don't fit. You're making things up. Keith Byers, another great example. That's correct. Barkley can't block. He can't catch. Okay? He can do none of those things. So your running back is obsolete in this new offense. Okay? As we said, when you're spreading the ball around, that's multiple routes. Look it up. They may run a variation of a West Coast, okay? AJ's not going to fit what they're going to do. AJ Brown is too predictable. Okay? Brian Westbrook would be insane great in this offense. He would be insane. Catch, block, run, stretch plays, in between the tackle. Okay? Get this. How many people believe that Saquon Barkley is a West Coast back? Saying dumb shit? Bro, it's dumb to you because you don't know what I'm talking about. You have no idea. Just because you have a player that's a great player, that doesn't mean he fits everywhere. They have fired the entire offensive coaching staff. Okay, Nick, man, some of these people don't like to be told the truth. Nick, why did they fire the entire coaching staff on offense? Nick says that Saquon's a pure West Coast back. In what world are you thinking? West Coast backs are Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey. Bijan Robinson. Here, let me give you what a West Coast back is. Okay? Here's a West Coast back. Let me give you a West Coast guy. And here, let me go here. Here's a West Coast guy. Okay. Bijan Robinson, 287 carries, 1478 rushing. Bijan Robinson, 80 catches, 820 yards receiving. That's West Coast. That's not Saquon Barkley. Okay? Sills, riddle me this. Why is Howie trying to change what has made us successful? With 2 Super Bowl showings under Nick, or is Howie pushing Nick and Hurts out? Great question. Folks, I'll give you another West Coast back. Bijan Robinson had almost 900 receiving yards and 80 catches and 1,400 yards rushing. That's right. Kenny Gainwell would have been sensational in this offense. Let's go to Kenny Gainwell. I'll show you Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell would be a perfect guy for what they're trying to accomplish. Here's Kenny Gainwell. 537 yards rushing. 500 yards receiving. That's a West Coast back. That's a back that blocks. That's a back that catches the football. This is what, and by the way, these are the coaches you've hired. This is their MO. The stuff that you, get this, the stuff, here. Kenny over Saquon, absolutely. In this offense, yes. You know why? Because the coaches you hired, this is what you're going to do. Saquon can't catch the ball 100 catches. He can't block. He doesn't fit. Okay? It's really ridiculous Why would you change your entire staff then? Why did you just keep the guys you had? If you thought you were going to do the same shit, you think these guys could run and play in the Sean McVay offense? Man, you're not a lot of you in here are not very intelligent on football. You're just not. Sills, I don't get what they're doing. I don't either. Here, Curtis, do you remember me saying this a couple days ago? Curtis, remember me saying DeAndre Swift would be great in this offense? Absolutely. He'd be great. Do you remember me saying this, Curtis, a couple days ago? I made this comment. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. Appreciate you. We're going to know what you're going to do if Jeff Stoutland's here or not. Okay? We're going to know. It's a complete about face. This is a complete change of direction. I think the Philadelphia Eagle coaching staff and the organization came up with the notion this offense has gone as far as it's going to go. Howie flipping the scheme keeps Howie the focus for yet another retool. It also keeps with Howie's belief of plug and play. Yeah, but here's the difference, Bob. The staff's been changed out. You know, how about this? The only time that you see staff change like this is if the head coach has been fired. Will Shipley might be a factor here with this because he can catch, run. Now, look, obviously, he's not a superstar talent in running the ball like Barkley, but Barkley's below average in pass protection. No one wanted to work with Nick. That's why we hired people with different schemes. But you've hired all these people that have a completely different skill set than what you had in the building. They've completely gone in a different direction. Do you actually think that the players fit that direction? This is why you don't like firing coaches. Because when you fire coaches and they want to bring in their scheme, most of the time, the players don't fit. You said Lane doesn't fit in this scheme 10 minutes ago, the best right tackle of all time. Haas, he doesn't fit. This guy's a run and a road grader. They're not doing that. They're going to try to throw the ball 30, 40 times. Best right tackle of all time. That's not true. One of? Yes. No, the problem what you get is, listen, Sills is right. These people don't want to hear that they're rebuilding. In the next 2 years, the entire offense, in my opinion, depending on how well the quarterback plays this year, will be changed out. So as I keep an eye on the kid from Washington, Denzel Boston, he would fit the Eagles' new offense. The next 2 years, they're going to completely change the entire. I think the only people that'll be left will be Devontae. And if Landon can come back, Landon, Mulata. In 2 years, like I said, it'll depend on how well the quarterback plays. There could be only 2 guys left in that offense. Remember I said that. 2 guys left. Landon and Mulata. Big Sills, how do we keep Stout? How do we get Stout back in the building? Not with this offense. By the way, you hired a guy who failed in Minnesota. I did some research on the guy. He failed. I mean, he failed. They had one of the worst O-lines and the lack of player development, and that's why they didn't redo his deal. Won't fit, too predictable. Didn't you also say AJ would kill it in LA with Harbaugh and that style of system? I don't know, man. It seems like, no, well, the quarterback is a spread guy. He knows how to throw the ball and spread the ball around. Okay? He won't fit here with Hurts because Hurts doesn't fit. Dude, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts. Every time Jalen Hurts has played against the Eagles, he beats the piss out of you. Justin Herbert owns the Eagles. Had one of the greatest completion percentage games, like of all time. He had like a 90% completion percentage. Have you ever heard of adapt and overcome? Adapt and overcome at 37? Adapt and overcome. Really? So, Gabe, you think that Joe Burrow could adapt and overcome and run a spread offense? Or, a RPO offense? He doesn't have the skill set for that. That's like saying, I'm going to take an Olympic 100-yard meter guy and I'm going to run him in a marathon. Hey, adapt. Let's see how good you are. So I'm going to take Usain Bolt. That's a 100-yard meter guy. Hey, I want you to run marathons now. You think that fits? That's obnoxious. Jesus Christ, Hill, stop lying. Lying what? What am I lying about? Lying? Yeah, that's what I do, Prince. I sit up at night thinking how to lie to you. Holy shit, what a ding-dong. Foles is successful in the ARP. Foles is a superior quarterback in the pocket than Hurts will ever be. What are you, crazy? Can't wait to see this shit show. I can't either. I don't believe it. How does it feel to see a true defensive team like the Seahawks win a Super Bowl? I saw one a year ago. I'm not impressed that much with the Seahawks. Jason Cole's going to join us, and he agrees with me. That team's not one of the better football teams that has won a Super Bowl in the last 20 years. That's not that hot a team. You take JSN off that offense, very underwhelming. That's not that impressive of a team. Their defense is very good. But for me, I look at that team, that's one of the bottom third teams in Super Bowl history that's ever won. Justin Herbert was terrible in the game. Terrible in that game. Only thing he did better was run, Sills. What are you talking about? Yeah, he beat you with a fucking broken hand. Beat you with a broken hand and 2 tackles that were out in that ball game. And you still couldn't beat him. Think of this. You talk to me about your bullshit quarterback when he doesn't have good numbers and he wins. All Herbert does against the Eagles is win. Matters to him then, doesn't it? You specifically said AJ is too predictable. He is. It's the way to line him up. That being why he won't fit this system. What do you mean I'm flipping? What are you talking about? They're not going to move. He can't. Okay. We're going to do this again here. Man, this is like going to kindergarten school. A.J. Brown, draft profile. Nothing's changed. Follow me, kiddies. Weakness. Faces limited press looks from the slot. Struggles in the slot. That's never changed. When you run like Puka Nacua, out of the slot, out of the Y, out of the Z, that's a spread offense. AJ doesn't do that. The Eagles have never put him in the slot, really, because he struggles in the slot. That's spread offense. Okay? He's on the Y, and sometimes he's on the Z. Most of the time, he's predictable in his alignment. What's made him great is yak and the slant. Other than that, and a little bit of the go. They don't fit. Do you not understand this? How about this? Adrian Peterson and a West Coast offense doesn't fit. Why? Because they're going to throw the ball in that offense. Adrian Peterson fits in a power offense. I can't believe you don't know the difference. If Vic might retire next year, what does that mean for drafting defensive players in the upcoming draft? I think you're going heavy offense. Here, get this. Once again, how you know what they're doing is they have hired people that have no similarities to the previous coaching staffs that you had. Okay? These guys report on Sports 1 Minute, tell you that the offense the Eagles run isn't sustainable. So now they change it, and that's not good. I didn't say, no, you're missing it, Angelo. You people are not very smart. You're changing everything too abruptly. You're hiring a brand new coaching staff, and you can't get rid of the players you have under contract. This is not college football where you can go from Tua or from Hurts to Tua because you have 8 quarterbacks that are 5-star kids deep. This is abrupt. You have fired the entire offensive coaching staff for a reason, because you're going with a different approach. Do you think if you go with a different approach with the same players, you think it magically works? Man, where in God's name do you get that? That's like saying a 34 end fits in a 43. He doesn't. Flip-flopping on what? This is your doing. You fired how are you not understanding this? You fired all your offensive coaches because you're going in a different direction. The personnel you have don't fit that direction. What are you not understanding? What in God's name are you flip-flop on what? The Eagles are flip-flopping. They're the ones changing. I'm not. I'm watching what you're doing. What are you talking about? I'm not even saying. They don't have the personnel to run West Coast. You don't even have the fucking quarterback to run a West Coast. My God. It's just dumb. Man. So wait a minute. You think that I get it now. It's because you think Hurts can run a West Coast offense. He can't. 4. How many games before they go back to run heavy scheme, Sills? 4. Absolutely. 4 games. They'll go back to doing what they did. Here, let me give you an insight. Do you remember in 24, at the beginning of the year, they were running all that motion and doing all that? They come out of the break and they went back to running heavy. That's what you're going to do again. Because the personnel, you don't have the personnel to run what they're going to do. You said it. It'll magically work with AJ in LA, though, because the quarterback is a spread quarterback. He gets the ball around. He's excellent in the pocket. Hurts isn't. Dude, AJ Brown in Los Angeles with Mike McDaniel and with Jim Harbaugh and with Justin Herbert would catch and go for 1,500 yards. Because he's an elite quarterback. Good God. Sills, this isn't the 90s. It's a West Coast variant. Hurts is absolutely based off of what, Paul? Paul, based off of what? That you're coming up with that? I mean, based on what? That you've seen where he's gone every week, where he could carry a team from the pocket. Based on what? Without him running. Where did you? He's never done that in his entire career without running. Ever. Sills, I agree that AJ has been used in a predictable style. Do you think that change of being used like Puka or he doesn't have that skill set, Bob. He doesn't have it. He can't move into the slot. But you just said that's not the receiver AJ is. Dude, the quarterback with him in that system, he doesn't have to be moved around. They'll keep him in a primary role in Los Angeles. And then they'll get a guy. Look at Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is used in that role in Los Angeles like AJ is used here. Puka Nacua is the guy that's moved around YZ slot. AJ will be the 2 in a place like Los Angeles. In an offense like that, you have to have a guy that's multitasking, that can move around in multiple positions. AJ's not. You've never done that here. All of a sudden now, you're going to fucking start saying he can do it? Based on what? In his 4 years here, or 3 years here, he's never done that. Man. How come Devontae Adams sucked with Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, Sills? Hypothetical takes are trash. Okay. He did not suck. The offensive line blew in New York. Have you noticed? He goes to a better offensive line. DK Metcalf is used in the same role as AJ. I can't believe that you're not understanding what they're doing. You really believe that if you hire 5 new or 6 new offensive coaches and you have the same personnel and those guys have a completely different philosophy on how you were winning games prior, you think the coaches are going to change? The coaches aren't changing. They're changing the offense. That's right. Cooper Kupp is used in that role. That's correct. What they have that's special in Seattle is that JSN and Kupp can be moved around in multiple positions. And that's why that West Coast offense works, is because they have skill sets. Okay? Don't know, but getting rid of Stoutland is a bad thing. It's a bad thing because, well, not really. Not if, okay, Charles, let's ask this question. Why did they get rid of Jeff Stoutland? Owning me? No, you guys, no. Owning you? So wait a minute. We're going to do the exercise one more time. Why did they fire the entire offensive staff? Anybody? Why did they fire him? Why did they fire the entire offensive coaching staff that went 50-18 and 2 Super Bowl appearances? Bad results? Like what? 50-18, 11-6, 9th best rushing attack? What do you mean? Bad results? You fired your pass coordinator, your run coordinator, your offensive line coach, your quarterback coach. Fired them all. Why? Passing game sucks. You're 50-18. You want numbers or wins? Curious. Why'd you fire them all? Bad results. Okay? So let's just say bad results. Every guy you hired to replace the men that you fired are completely opposite of the people that were here. Why? I'm asking you guys the question now. Why? Why did you hire people that have a completely different philosophy than what you've been doing the last 4 years? Why? I'm asking. Let's see if you can answer. What's this now? Don't want to be a run-heavy team anymore. That's the answer. Oh, okay. So you don't want to be a run-heavy team. Is that why Jeff Stoutland was fired? So you're not going to have a run-heavy offense anymore. Is that what you're saying, Kyle? Okay. Because why? I'm changing. I'm not changing shit. I didn't fire all these people. You did. Okay. So you're going to throw the ball now. Is this correct? You got away from the best offensive line coach since Alex Gibb. Because you want to do, why would you fire Jeff Stoutland? M. Reyes, you're finished today. You should take the rest of the day off. Guys, why did they fire Jeff Stoutland? Why? The owner hates the way the offense looks, okay? See? Stoutland was tired of Sirianni's nonsense. No. Well, wait. Okay, Wheel. How about this? Well, then why did you hire a guy that has and doesn't resemble anything that Jeff Stoutland teaches? He teaches more spread. He's a spread guy. Okay? So you hired an O-line coach that doesn't teach anything that Lane Johnson's been taught for the last 13 years. Why would you do that? Why would you hire an offensive line coach that has no similarities to Jeff Stoutland? Why would you do that? This guy teaches nothing. Not in the same zip code of what he teaches. It's a completely different dude. Why would Lane? So Lane now is going to be taught a different scheme at 36? Why? Because Stoutland wouldn't kiss ass? No. The reason they took the run game coordinating duties away is because they wanted to go in a different direction on how to use the run game to help the pass game and set it up more. You can't even answer your own actions right now. Some people in here can't even answer their own actions. You're making it seem like I'm making shit up. You fired 5 of your 6 offensive coaches, but the wide receiver guy. Everybody's gone. And the significant roles, run coordinator, pass coordinator, quarterback coach, are all new and don't resemble anything of what you did in the last 6 years. Why? Why have you changed? You can't answer it. You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. You were 50-18. You were arguably in the last 5 years the most successful football team in pro football. You've been to 2 Super Bowls. Only the Chiefs